During a Thursday, October 12th interview with RollingOut, Pinkett Smith was asked about Tupac, who died at age 25 in 1996, thinking of her as a soulmate. The actress replied that it's absolutely possible to have a soulmate connection that is platonic. If there is such a thing as past lives, I definitely think that Pac and I have traveled a few together, she said, after noting that there's all kinds of definitions of soulmates. Despite the duo's strong bond, Pinkett Smith said she has no regrets that she never took her relationship with Tupac to the next level. It just wasn't possible. There was no chemistry between us, she explained, laughing. The Red Table Talk alum insisted that their connection was simply friendship-love chemistry and said there was a repelling nature that prevented them from being more than pals. It was like God made us that way, she continued. It was like God said, "Look, I'm going to put you all together, right? Y'all are going to be a dynamic duo, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to make it so you all are not going to be able to get together, because that just wasn't the purpose."
Jada Pinkett. Jada's my heart, you know what I mean? She will be my friend for my whole life.
Pinkett Smith also noted that she wrote about her and Tupac's dynamic in her memoir, Worthy, which hit shelves on October 17th. Speaking with Jay Shetty and his podcast On Purpose, Jada provided her opinion about what the relationship between her husband Will Smith and her friend Tupac Shakur would have looked like had they known each other. If Pac had survived Vegas, he and Will would have ended up being really good friends, Pinkett Smith said on the podcast. They would have had a lot to offer each other. Funny enough, Will was the only person when I started dating him. Pac never said anything. If I dated anybody else, Pac had something to say, she added. He didn't think anybody was good enough, which I understand, but when I started dating Will, he didn't say anything, which meant to me, in his own way, he approved. He didn't say anything, not a word, which made me believe he approved. In his newly released memoir, Will has weighed in on how friendship between Jada and Tupac impacted him, admitting that he felt tortured by the relationship the two shared. "In the beginning of our relationship, my mind was tortured by their connection," Will writes. "He was Pac, and I was me. Though they were never intimate, their love for each other is legendary." Will writes that he felt jealous of Tupac's fearless passion and militant morality, which he would compare to his own inability to stand up to his father, with whom Will shared a turbulent relationship, due to his father's pattern of violent behavior and alcohol use. As a result, Will writes he felt insecure and cowardly against the late rapper. What's more, Will compares Tupac to his younger brother Harry, who would often stand up to their abusive father, noting that he felt inadequate in comparison to both. "Tupac was like Harry," he writes. "He triggered the perception of myself as a coward. I hated that I wasn't what he was in the world, and I suffered a raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like that. If she chose me over Tupac, there was no way I could be a coward," he writes. "I have rarely felt more validated. I was in a room with Tupac on multiple occasions, but I never spoke to him. The way Jada loved Pac rendered me incapable of being friends with him. I was too immature." This isn't the first time Will has spoken about his feelings of insecurity over Jada and Tupac's friendship. Just last year, the actor admitted he could never open up around the late rapper in a candid interview with The Breakfast Club. "I could never open up to interact with Pac," Will said. "You know, because we had a little bit of a thing. You know, they grew up together and they loved each other, but they never had a sexual relationship."
But she just loved him like he was the image of perfection, but she was with the Fresh Prince, you know, so it was like, I never could, like, even we were in a room together a couple times, I couldn't speak to him, you know, and, you know, he wasn't going to speak to me if I wasn't going to speak to him. But
really? It seems like y'all have so much in common.
No, that's what Jada would say all the time. She was like, "I'm telling you, y'all are so similar. You will love him." And I just never, you know, that was a huge regret of mine.
Despite the early days of jealousy, Will and Jada's relationship progressed, and the two were married in 1997. Ever since, the Hollywood couple, who now share 2 children, Jaden and Willow, have been very open about their tumultuous relationship. Perhaps most notably, Jada and Will attract a ton of attention last July after they publicly addressed rumors of infidelity in their marriage. During an episode of Red Table Talk, the rumors circulated after singer August Alsina said he'd had a relationship with Jada in 2015 with Will's permission. He alleged, "I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation. Due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they have spoken on several times, and not involving romanticism, he gave me his blessing." Before Jada addressed her relationship with August, she and Will revealed that they'd actually separated indefinitely at the time, after which she'd found herself in an entanglement with August. Jada later clarified that this had been a romantic relationship. Earlier this year, Will publicly commented on his and Jada's relationship for the first time since this discussion, revealing that both of them have, with mutual agreement, engaged in other sexual relationship outside of the marriage. Speaking with GQ, Will admitted that he and Jada held conflicting opinions on monogamy due to their different upbringings, which had rocked their relationship at various points. Jada never believed in conventional marriage. Jada had family members that had an unconventional relationship. Will said, "So she grew up in a way that was very different than how I grew up. We have given each other trust and freedom with the belief that everybody has to find their own way," he added. "And marriage for us can't be a prison, and I don't suggest our road for anybody. But the experiences that the freedom that we've given one another and the unconditional support to me is the highest definition of love."